Let me hit record before I forget. How's your day going? So good to see you. Have
Good.
you been
Busy,
busy?
busy,
Are
busy,
you
busy.
done with work? Or are you gonna, like, are you like taking a break to talk to me?
This week, I haven't really been working today, I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, good for you. What have you been doing?
Um, I'm getting ready to travel today, so I just
Yeah.
been like getting my life together. So
Remind me where you're
I
going
had
again?
the Chicago.
Okay.
So I
Just for
had like
funsies?
yeah, it's my birthday weekend.
When's your birthday? Did I miss it?
Saturday.
It's Saturday. Happy early birthday. So I haven't missed it. I saw where the birthday text went out to you for the free fit aid. And I was like, when's Tawana's birthday? That always happens to me. I'll see it go out and I'm like, oh my God, I missed their birthday. All right. Saturday. Happy
But
early
yeah,
birthday. Got big
thank
plans
you.
in Chicago?
No, just gonna see what Chicago has for me. I'm doing a solo trip.
Oh, you're doing solo trip. That was my next question. Heck yeah. Good
Yeah.
for you. I'm excited for you. Awesome. Well, is that just like a short trip or you be back Monday?
I'll be back Sunday. It's a short trip.
Oh, very short trip. Okay. Well, hope you
Yeah.
enjoy it. Thanks for meeting with me today. This is just kind of an idea I had to talk to past clients and just get their perspective on their experience from nutrition coaching and really just like what you took with you from that. Um, and so, yeah, I sent you those questions. We can just kind of have a conversation about it and it'll flow however it wants to flow. Um, but yeah, so you were my very first nutrition client. And I don't think you knew that until I told you that the other day, did you?
You did it. I didn't.
It really wasn't that long ago, though. Last year at the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I started at the same time I started the gym.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me when did you start at the gym? Remind me.
At the end of February of last year.
February 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you started nutrition coaching too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit what about like what you were wanting to get out of nutrition coaching? Like why did you want to pair that with also the fitness side of things?
I think for me, I really was just looking for some overall guidance on how to eat better. I feel like a lot of times, like everybody talks about fitness, nobody ever talks about nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
And I was never, that's not something like in my family that we talk about. So I just wanted like overall guidance on how to eat well and what
Mm-hmm.
that looks like. Um, and I wanted accountability.
Yeah. Yeah. So kind of wanted some accountability and just overall kind of education around nutrition and what that looks like for you, like what a healthy diet looks like for you and your lifestyle, for sure. Um, what did you learn about yourself in the process?
I learned that I actually do like broccoli, um,
I
and
remember
that I was
that.
cooking it wrong.
Yeah, you were like,
um,
I don't like vegetables. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And then I remember one session you came back and you were like, well, come to find out, I do like broccoli.
yeah, I learned that my body specifically will start to crave what I give it. And like, as soon as I like started to change my lifestyle a bit, like now if I don't eat vegetables for an extended period of time, I'm like, where are the vegetables at? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And then I also learned that if I don't have a plan, like that's when I usually fall out of like eating well. So
Hmm.
like I have to get myself like a plan for the overall week, not just for the weekdays,
Hmm.
Monday through Thursday, but also include Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and plan well, make sure the fridge is stocked so that I'm not like reverting back to old habits.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. I remember that was one of the things that we really worked on with you was that planning piece. That's what you really wanted to hone in on. And for you, I remember and I know that you're a foodie and you've got your favorite restaurants around Nashville and like things that I want to try. Like I go to you and I'm like, hey, I think about you all the time. I'm like, I need to text Tawana and see where I should go eat. But it was really all about for you, like finding recipes that you were gonna not get bored with and that you were like excited to eat. So tell me a little bit about how things were before you started nutrition coaching versus now with kind of the things that you just said that you were learning.
Yeah, so before I wasn't drinking a gallon a day.
Right.
That was the first thing we did was
Hmm.
water. Um, I felt like I would just kind of go with the flow when it came with meal prepping. Like I would just, cook or go to the grocery store and just show up and kind of let the grocery store slap me in the face versus like going prepared. Um, which you spend more money when you do that.
Hmm.
And yeah, and I just didn't have a game plan. I wasn't really like thinking about holistically what I was putting in my body. I also wasn't thinking about like my emotional eating habits and how that was affecting like my overall fitness goals.
Hmm.
Um, I think now I'm drinking a gallon a day, but
You still carry that water
now
bottle around. I love
I
it.
do, I do. The big thing for me has just been planning, like planning my meals out. And I'm trying now to like make it a fun time of the week versus like having it be like a stress time. And I think a lot of that came from not having a plethora of things to choose from that I know I enjoy. So part of like what I'm doing now is like exploring new recipes and getting cookbooks and trying out new things that I know like I think that brings me joy because I'm a foodie and I love like eating
Hmm.
good things.
Yeah.
Um, so like now it's like I have a plan. The grocery store doesn't slap me in the face. I can go into Trader Joe's and not walk out with like 50 things I don't need. And get exactly what I need while still getting like, because you can't
Yeah.
walk into Trader Joe's and not get
I
it.
mean,
Like
no, you can't. It's like I walk in there and I'm like, man, I want like everything in here.
they have like this pumpkin brioche bun that makes
Oh,
incredible French toast, by the way. You're
fancy.
welcome.
I'm gonna have to try that.
You're welcome. Everybody's welcome on that.
Yes, thank you. I'll have to go get that. Um, yeah, so a lot of things that, well, thinking back to when we first started, like water was our first thing. And that's, if you can remember that our first habit that you came up with to start with, like, did you feel like that was something really simple? You were like, water. Okay, I'm gonna drink how much water and I'm gonna try to get consistent with this. Like, what did you think about that?
At first, when you were like, we're all about starting small, and I didn't realize the impact of starting small and just like making something a consistent habit versus just like try to do it all at once. So I think that like it really helped me to just hone in on one thing at a time,
Mhm.
even though the overachiever in me wants to do like 50 things at the same time and try to get it all done and eat well from the jump. But like I think it was a good like if you do this 3 days a week, start
Mhm.
off, see how it goes 2 days a week, and then we'll progress and
Yep.
like see how that goes. Like looking back on it, I think like I don't think I realized how much it was actually setting the course for me to like actually make it a lifestyle habit now. It's not
Mhm.
like it's just a part of what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's so cool because that's really the goal is to kind of focus on one thing at a time and build from there. And like this is proof. I told you this when we first started. You may not remember, but focusing on one thing at a time, you're 80% more likely to be still doing that habit a year from now. And look at you. You're still drinking your water, carrying around the same water bottle a year or more later. So that's like just really cool to see. And then I remember we started kind of adding in the planning, and that was kind of like I remember kind of a stressful time for you. because that was something that we had to like work through because you were just like learning how to plan and what you liked. So take me back there, like take me back to you kind of working through that. Because I remember some messages coming through, you're getting stressed sometimes, and we just really kind of had to work through that. So how did you work through that and what was helpful from me, if you
Yeah.
remember?
Um, so well, I kind of told you that I'm like a organized person.
Hmm.
And you suggested like getting a meal planner thing that I could write
Hmm.
down my daily. So I ordered one on Amazon, and then like that helped me to like organize like a week ahead, but also every day, and write out like the specific meals for lunch, dinner, breakfast, or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, and it was also like us coming up with like recipes together that I could try, and if I liked it, it was like trial and error, and then like just working on like getting a good bulk of recipes, like five that I could go and have as my go-to that I knew that I liked, that I could just rotate. Because I'm the type of person I can eat the same thing again and again and I'm fine.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember too, like you would be really honest with me and say like if you liked something, if you didn't like it. And we are like, okay, let's try something else then. But what I think is like looking back through that process, what you had was the ability to go through that trial and error and really not give up and get discouraged. You kind of trudge forward through that to find like what worked well for it. And eventually we landed, or you landed on a few options that you rotated through. Do you still rotate through anything that you
I
had?
do actually. I have like my dinner staple meals, and then I like trickle in new recipes. And then I have lunch staples. Taco in a bowl is still a lunch staple. I've
I was about
like,
to say, is it taco in a bowl?
yeah, I've like changed it up here and there.
Yeah,
That's like a staple. I've been in a panini phase because I got a
yum.
panini press.
That's
So
right. You did tell me that. I was like, you would get a panini press.
so sandwiches have now been on the rotation.
Yep. Yep.
But I think it was just getting like solid things that I could rotate and like still add that in my daily or weekly meals, and
Hmm.
then adding in the new things that I like to try, because I still enjoy cooking. I enjoy being in the kitchen. So like
Hmm.
as long as I'm able to do that and not feel like, oh, I just did this yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah. I remember that's just something that we spent, but I think the majority like back half, because you stay with me, what, for 6 months, seven
Six
months? You
months,
stayed with me
yeah.
for a
I
while.
think it was
Yeah.
like 6 or 7 months.
Yeah. That was kind of the majority of the back half of our time together is really making sure like your planning was consistent and you followed through with what you set out to do. How did all of that impact things outside of nutrition, like the gym, personal life, like all of those things? How did just kind of getting that consistent trickle out into other things?
Yeah, I think like it drastically affected my performance. I put on like 6 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, you did. Them
So
arms be looking good.
that was great. And that wasn't something that I even noticed happened. Obviously, like I knew that I was gaining weight, um, but I didn't know like the exact ratio of like what was fat, what was muscle. We're working on the fat part, but the muscle part, uh, that was really cool. I also noticed just like when I go out to eat now, I'm a lot more like picky, so to say, when I eat, and I'm just like, what is this meal right now? This is terrible. Or like even more than I was before, because I like cook a lot of my meals at home,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, this tastes terrible. Or
Mm,
this is like really freshly made. I'm able to like quickly identify when something is fresh because I'm eating fresh food. I'm eating
yeah.
whole foods versus processed junk. Um, so that's cool. Yeah, I also eat mostly at home, which is another good thing.
Yeah, I remember before we started, that wasn't much of a thing, was it?
It was
You're
like,
here and
I
there
think this
eating
is something we
out by
started
yourself.
noticing at the end of
Mm,
like,
you're right.
I
Yes.
was eating, it was like Monday through Thursday, I was fine. But then Friday to Sunday, I was eating out like constantly, which is, I mean, it's not a bad thing.
No, that's not a bad thing.
Um, I think like it's just in moderation, and I've had to like consider the bigger picture and like how all that stuff affects, which we kind of talked about that too. And like now it's more so like I pre-plan those things. I pre-plan hangouts to where
Hmm.
I try to make it to where it's once a week. Or like if a friend wants to go to dinner, I invite them over to dinner instead. And I cook. Just
That's so
trying to
cool.
find ways to kind of like circumvent. Yeah, let's not go waste money. um,
Yeah, yeah, and that aligns still with like your goals and what you're wanting for yourself too. I know you're like a big like relational person, and food is that one thing that brings people together. And so whether it's like going out, or I love that like you like to cook, so you're like, hey, let's come over and I'll cook a good like fresh meal, and it's going to taste way better, and we're not going to spend money here, but that you're able to do that and actually enjoy it.
yeah,
That's awesome. So do you still feel like with the habits that you created when we worked together and still doing, do you feel like those are like solid and then they're still impacting you positively?
absolutely. Like I feel like I actually understand how to eat. Like, and it's, I mean, I feel like going into it, I was just very overwhelmed because
Hmm.
there's so much information that, it's like you don't know really know where to start.
Yeah.
And I just felt like a lot of it was just kind of debunking, like, yeah, it's not that deep. It's just, here's
Hmm.
what it is. This is how what your plate should look like. Which for me, I like simple things. Now I know, like, okay, if I'm eating something, is this a full meal? Like, where's the carbs? Like, where's the healthy fat? Like, where's my
Yeah.
protein at? And so I feel like that's still affecting me and how I eat and how I pick and how I like make certain meal decisions. I'm still drinking water. Holistically, like I feel like I'm looking at my fitness as like a whole with my nutrition. It's not just like one thing separately, but seeing how they both connect to each other. And like I can't do one and expect results and neglect the other.
Yeah, that's huge. That's like such a huge realization to notice that, because it's true, right? You can't expect results without focusing on both of them, you know? Um, so what would you kind of say to somebody that was wanting to do nutrition coaching, or kind of thinking about it, or maybe doesn't think they need it? What would you say to somebody?
I would say do it. Just do it. Especially if you feel intimidated by understanding how to eat well. Like you should definitely do it and get some type of accountability. If you're thinking about it, even just like knowing that there's someone to help to keep you accountable, even if it's for a little bit of time, just to set you on a course or even get a goal. Oftentimes, I feel like we don't really have a goal in mind, so we're just kind of going on about things. Um, but you should do it.
Yeah, yeah. Having a coach help you break down, like identify what your goal is and then break that down into smaller steps. Because that's what we did, right? We had a goal and then we broke that down into smaller steps. And that's when we created that action plan. Okay, we're going to start with water, but in the big picture, in the grand scheme of things, it aligns with this goal because of this. And so, kind of having that long game mindset around it, and that kind of slow and steady instead of 0 to 100 quickly. So having a coach to help you, I love that
Yeah.
you just brought up the goal part, because that is important. If we don't have a goal or write it down, it's just like a dream. It's in our head. And so if we don't write it down or tell somebody like a coach, that can help us. I think we're like, I don't know the percentage, but we're way more likely to follow through on a goal if we write it down or tell somebody or have a coach, um, versus if we just are in our head, like, oh, I want to lose weight. Like I want to, or I want to, whatever the goal is. So, how do you feel like support and accountability helped you reach your goals?
Yeah, well, I'm a relational person. I love
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I'm a one-on-one person. That's just how I function. So for me, I feel like there are two things for me that I know will get me to do something. If I know someone else knows and they're keeping me accountable, and if my money is attached to it and it hurts, it's not just like a little $10. Like, that's why I'm at the gym every day because I'm paying this money. I
Yes.
wanna make the most of my money. It's gonna hurt. That's why I tell
Uh,
people like you should pay more for a gym membership because that's what's gonna make you go. Um, but yeah, I think like for me, I'm just a relational person, and I think like having that people person relationship, to just talk it out sometimes, and just also knowing that someone's watching and paying attention, and I'm not just like just chugging along with no sense of like purpose or anything like that, or
mhm.
what it is that I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So knowing that somebody's there, not in the sense of like judging your every move, but in the sense of like, hey, I'm here to be your accountability and
Accountable.
support person, and also the person that is like rooting you on and giving you education along the way and guidance and grace when you may be really hard on yourself, or and celebrate with you when you have those wins. So it's like having that person not just to look and say like, oh, okay, so you did this great job. It's like, okay, we're here to just like guide you and support you in whatever, because all clients have, what we worked on is different than any other client. Like everybody I work with has such a different lifestyle. Not everybody is a foodie like you. And so um like our style of how we had to go about meal planning was a lot different, and that was a learning experience for me as a coach, which was awesome because I got to really hone in on like, okay, we like, let's work in tandem and try to find something that works for you. And so it's just really cool to see how you flourish during nutrition coaching and just are still doing all those habits that we worked on, and how they're just still impacting your life. It's just really great to hear. And you're crushing it in the gym, by the way.
No, trying to get swole.
Yes, that's awesome. Anything else that you would want to say around your experience with nutrition coaching or our time
Um,
together?
yeah. First off, I just want to say thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Uh, I think what you're doing is awesome. And I want to encourage you in what you're doing because you helped me change my lifestyle for the better. And I think like it will continue to impact what I'm doing, even if I start nutrition coaching again, or just like, I
I'm
move
kidding.
on
I'm kidding.
somewhere else.
Yeah.
Uh, I think I just want to say thank you for just what you're doing and how you're pouring into people's lives and helping to keep them accountable and just teaching on how to eat well and goes a long way.
You're gonna make me cry. Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's good to hear. Always as a coach, it's we don't hear that a lot. Um, and so it's great too, because we're sometimes we just feel like we're the one pouring in, and it's awesome to just have that encouragement that you just gave me. So I appreciate it. Well, that's all the questions I have for you. But that was awesome. I loved hearing all that. Thank you. For real.
You're welcome.
That was really cool.
Thank
That was
you.
really cool. Um, it's just I had this idea of, because when people stop nutrition coaching, normally it's never It's never like a bad thing. It's always like a great, like the goal of it is to not stay with me forever. Like the goal of nutrition coaching is for you to find, implement those habits, find, you know, what works well for you, and having the confidence to go forth without me. And so you are a tried and true example of somebody that, you know, stopped nutrition coaching, but still sees the importance of continuing what you learned and learning how to do that on your own with support and accountability from afar, right? It's not like,
And still comes back for tune-ups.
yeah, it's not like we're like, bye, see you, never talk to you again, right? Like I still check in with you at the gym all the time. And so I had this idea to just get together with previous clients and just see how it impacted their life and what they're doing now and what they learned about themselves. Um, because that's just what I like to hear. I like to talk to people too, and I like to hear those things. So I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, I hope this was helpful.
It was, yes, very helpful. I recorded it, so I don't know. We'll see what I can do with it. Splice it up, maybe use some cool, like you had some really great nuggets in there. So we'll see what we can do. Somebody was telling me the other day that that you can use AI. You can edit a video and use AI, and it'll put it up into little shorts, like
Yeah.
pick out the best things. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I forgot what there are multiple apps that do that.
That's crazy, but cool. All right, what time are you leaving today?
In an hour to
Oh,
get to the
okay.
airport.
Well, good. I wanted to keep it to 30 minutes, so we did just that. Well, again, thank you, and I really appreciate it. I hope you have the best birthday weekend,
Thank you,
and
thank
we'll
you.
see you back in the gym Monday, Tuesday.
Monday.
All right, cool. All right, Tawana, thank you, and I'll see you Monday.
Bye.
Bye.